Math 107, hello, and welcome to our online spring 2021 quarter. My name is Alan. This is my name right here. It's spelled funny because my parents were hippies and I can't fix that, but that's okay. This is my email. Please feel free to email me if you have anything that you need to email me about during the quarter. Just as a little bit of a warning, I get a ton of emails, and so it might take me a little while to get back to you, but I will definitely get back to you within 48 hours. And that's, again, just because since we've switched online, all I do with my life is answer emails, which is sad for me, but that's just the reality of my life. Haha. If you want to have office hours, I would be more than happy to schedule some, but I'm going to have my office hours just by appointment this quarter. And the reason is we are fortunate enough to have our very own graduate teaching assistant, Cassandra, and she is going to have daily office hours every single day of the week for 2 hours a day. And these are totally open. If you would like to talk to her, you can just feel free to drop in. There's a Zoom link for her office hours on our main Canvas page where you found this video. Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday, she's going to have office hours from 4 to 6 p.m. Wednesdays and Fridays, 8 to 10 a.m. So there's a little bit of a variability there to try to accommodate everybody's schedules. And feel free, like I said, just to swing by those. You do not need any kind of an appointment. What you do need for this quarter are these requirements. So first of all, you need the internet and some sort of a webcam if you would like to drop by office hours. And the reason being is office hours don't work if it's just you watching one of us do math, right? That's not a great way to learn anything. And furthermore, you're going to need the ability to scan, in quotes, we'll talk more about that in just a second, your documents, your homeworks and your exams and things like that. You can do this with a phone, you can do it with a tablet, but you need something kind of like that to be able to scan your homework. Now, let's talk a little bit about the class and what it looks like on kind of a daily basis. So it says general daily Monday through Thursday course activities. Because Math 107 is only 4 credits, we're doing a normal quarter, it would not meet on Fridays, right? It's a 4-day-a-week kind of thing. So we're going to continue that same idea. So we will meet, or we will have stuff for our class, rather, Monday through Thursday. And then Fridays is kind of a catch-up day or a day off. It's entirely up to you. You can use Fridays as you see fit. But as far as what happens Monday through Thursday, generally, we're under the impression these two things are happening Monday through Thursday. Number one, you will watch the lecture videos. There's going to be a daily, lecture, just like there would be a daily lecture in a normal face-to-face quarter. All the lectures are going to be pre-recorded and they'll be on YouTube, and you can watch them sort of whenever it is convenient for you, but you should be watching them every single day, right? You have to view this like it'd be just like going to a normal lecture for 50 minutes every day, and then that would be the class part of it. But then in addition to that, there's going to be homework pretty much every day, and you should expect between 60 and 120 minutes, so an hour or two of homework for every single Monday through Thursday that we have during this quarter. Okay, and with that, this is the book we're going to be using. So this is on sale in the bookstore. For those of you that are interested in trying to procure this somewhere else, that's totally fine if you'd like to try. But you need to make sure you get the 5th edition, and that is not the new edition. This is an old edition because the math department decided to use an old edition, okay? This is the one the bookstore sells. They do exist in other places, but because this is an older edition, ironically, the bookstore is probably going to be the cheapest place to get it. Something else you're going to need this quarter is a calculator, and normally we would, make a list of all the calculators that you could use, but because we're online, we can actually use something called Desmos, and I will use Desmos very much throughout the quarter. I will show you how to use Desmos. It's a free website. It is a fantastic calculating and graphing device, and so we're going to use that. So you don't actually need to buy any kind of a calculator. We're going to use Desmos for free. What else? Homework. Okay. So homework is going to be listed on Canvas, and I would very strongly encourage you to work with your fellow classmates, to make some study groups, to think of homework like it is a free-for-all adventure on learning the material, right? So you can You can go to office hours with Cassandra, you can go to the tutoring center, you can ask me questions, right? You can do whatever for the homework. But it's extremely important that you understand the stuff that you're turning in, okay? We'll talk more about that both in just a few minutes and sort of as the quarter goes on. But what your goal needs to be is your goal needs to be understanding of the material, right? Your answers they're not that interesting. What is interesting is how you get to the answers. Now, as far as due dates for homework is due 2 weekdays after we have completed a topic. So as an example, if I gave you some homework from a lecture on Monday, that would be due Wednesday at 11:59. If I gave you some homework on a Wednesday, well, 1 day later would be Thursday. We don't meet on Friday, so the next weekday would be Monday. It would be due Monday at 11:59 p.m. Canvas will have all the due dates associated with every single assignment. The only time a homework assignment is not due at 11:59 p.m. is if it happens to be due on an exam day, and we will always have one homework assignment that's due on an exam day. Those assignments are due at 8 a.m., and that's because the exam will open at 8 a.m., and you need to make sure the homework is done before the exam opens. Now, homework is going to be graded out of 8 points. And the 8 points come from these two pieces. You get 5 points for completing all of the assigned exercises, and you get 3 points for turning in copies of the notes that you took while you were watching the lecture video. Okay, so for every lecture, I'm under the impression you're going to take some notes, and then you do the homework, and then you just take a scan of your homework and a scan of your notes, and you turn that in. It can be one file together, it can be 2 separate files, it makes no difference, but you just need to make sure that your homework and your notes are all turned in together. Now, this is a great time for us to pause and say, note, homework will not be accepted until you have passed the syllabus quiz with a score of 100%. So on the main page where you found this video, there's a link to the syllabus quiz. On the left side of Canvas where it has all the various places you can go, there's a link to the quizzes, and the syllabus quiz is in there. The syllabus quiz is a multiple choice quiz. You can take it as many times as you like. You just have to keep taking it until you get 100. Okay, so please complete the syllabus quiz in your immediate future. Okay, now back to homework. If your handwriting is terrible, make it better. Okay, it's just do that. Late homework. So stuff happens. I get that. And to help alleviate that, every one of you will have 4 late homework passes. And the way these work is if you miss the deadline of a homework for whatever reason, I mean, it can be, something like I was visiting a cousin and I just couldn't do my math homework or whatever, whatever you do. That's fine. Okay, it happens. You can use a late pass to turn in that assignment late, and you can still get full credit. Now, you can only do that up until the exam that covers the material, because if you're not going to do the homework before the exam, then really what's the point of doing the homework? So as an example, we have an exam 1 in the future. Between the first due date and exam 1, you can turn in any of that homework late, right? So you could use a late pass to turn in one of those assignments late, or if you really got behind, you could use 2 of your late passes to turn in 2 of those assignments late. But once that exam happens, you can no longer turn in any of that homework late, regardless of how many late passes you may or you may not have. Okay? And once you've used all 4 late passes, you're no longer able to turn in late homework for the rest of the quarter. So you get 4, and use them as you need them. Now, as far as using a late pass, if you want to use one, that's awesome, right? They're there for your use. So what you need to do is just upload your homework to Canvas like normal, and Canvas will accept the homework, but it will mark it as late. What it will not do is it will not tell me or Cassandra or anybody that you have uploaded a late homework. So what you need to do once you upload the homework is you must email our course grader and let our course grader know that you have submitted a late homework. Now, this is our course grader right now. By the time this video is posted, though, we may actually have 2 course graders, and if we do, I will break them down based on the course CRN number, the number you use to register. Okay, so for right now, our only course grader is Sydney. We're probably going to get another one, just to warn you. And so you would email Sydney if you wanted to use a late homework pass, if you had uploaded the file and you were turning it in. Okay? But again, just as a warning, we may get a second homework grader, and if we do, I will separate them based on the course CRN number. Again, that's the number you used to register for the course. All right, exams. So every time we have an exam, the exam will be open starting at 8 a.m. Pacific time, and it will close at 8 p.m. Pacific time. And within those 12 hours, you get a 2-hour exam time window. So you get 2 hours to take every exam. The final's similar, it's a little bit more flexible. It opens at 8 a.m. June 7th and it closes at 8 p.m. June 11th. So that's all of finals week. The final exam has a 3-hour time limit. If you are taking an exam and something goes wrong, I don't know, your Wi-Fi detonates or something like that, you need to email me your exam immediately, right? So say you can't, for some reason, something is going wrong with Canvas and you cannot upload your exam. Email me the PDF of your exam within your 2-hour window and everything is totally fine, right? I can accept it, you can get graded, everything is hunky-dory. Now, this is only an emergency thing, right? This is not how you turn in exams. Canvas will let you upload exams the same way it lets you upload homework. This is an emergency thing because if all of you tried to do this, it would be totally chaos and overwhelming for me. Okay, so we can't, this is not how we turn in exams in anything other than an emergency. Another sort of side note right here with just something that we know is a problem in Canvas, do not have an exam open in more than one place at a time. So do not have it open on your phone and on your laptop at the same time. Close one of them, okay? So only have an exam open in one spot. If you have it open in more than one spot, there's a bug in Canvas, and Canvas will randomly pick one of the 2 spots to save, and it might not be the place where you're actually uploading your exam. Okay, so super easy way to avoid this. Just don't have the exam open in more than one place. Okay, now PDFs. So I mentioned that you have to upload everything as a PDF. The program that I would very strongly recommend you use to do this is called Adobe Scan. It is completely free on any operating system you want to use, okay? So, Adobe Scan. Now, why do I make you do this? Adobe Scan does a lot of really nice things. It fixes any kind of a distortion on your lighting or your angle or, all sorts of fun stuff like that. PDFs are much smaller than JPEGs, and very importantly, you are much less likely to submit the wrong PDF file than you are the wrong JPEG file. And that has happened, and it is extraordinarily unpleasant for everyone involved. So these are the reasons you must use Adobe Scan, or you must use some PDF scanning software. But again, Adobe Scan's free. It's awesome. I totally recommend it. Now, there's one note with Adobe Scan. By default, Adobe is going to Adobe is going to save all of their PDFs to the Adobe Cloud, and that's fine, right? It's awesome, it's free, who cares? You cannot upload from the Adobe Cloud to Canvas. It just doesn't work, okay? It's going to tell you it worked, and you're going to be like, yeah, it worked. It did not work. So what you need to do is after you save your file to the Adobe Cloud, there will be a side menu, it's 3 dots, and one of the options in there is to save the PDF to your device. Do that. Then upload to Canvas from your device. Okay, so it's just one real quick step. It's super easy, makes everything work. Now, submission deadlines. I am going to seem very hard and unforgiving when it comes to submission deadlines, and I promise I'm not. But all submission deadlines are final, okay? So never will I accept anything late. The reason is actually to keep things fair for all of you. What do I mean? Well, if I started accepting something that was late, and there's an example right here, right? If I accepted a file that was 1 minute late, and I said, oh, well, you're only a minute past the deadline, sure, I'll take it. This puts me in a really tough position because then how would I say no to someone who was something like 1 minute and 30 seconds late, right? This person is only 30 seconds later than this person was, and I accepted this file. So it seems like I would have to accept this file, which then I'd have to accept something that was 2 minutes late. And there's no good point at where I would stop. And I would say, oh no, now we're too late. That's a slippery slope argument, right? We have to avoid those. So The way we avoid it is all deadlines are absolutely hard and final. Okay. Now, to alleviate some of the stress and confusion associated with turning things in online, I built that into all of the timing on all of your stuff that's due, right? So as an example, in a normal quarter, our lectures would be 50 minutes face to face, and all of your exams would take place in those 50 minutes face to face. All of the exams I'm going to give you this quarter are not any longer or any harder than the exams I would give in a normal quarter. But I'm going to give you 2 hours to get them turned in. And the reason that I'm going to give you 2 hours is you have the 50 minutes to actually complete the exam, and then you have 1 hour and 10 minutes. You have 70 additional minutes to turn it into a PDF and upload it to Canvas. So you have more time to turn it into a PDF and upload it to Canvas than you actually have to take the exam. This turning it into a PDF and uploading it takes 2 minutes. Okay, it is not a long process, but I'm giving you all of this extra time just in case it goes really wrong for an hour, and then you still have 10 more minutes and you can get it sorted out. Okay. Now, that having been said, no one is going to be there with you when you're taking your exam, right? There's not any kind of a 50-minute window that pops up and says, hey, start turning your stuff in. So you can work on your exam for as much of this 2 hours as you would like to. Okay, that's totally fine. But if you do, you are running the risk of missing your submission deadline. And this is the reason the submission deadlines are non-negotiable. You have 70 minutes to get your exam submitted. If you want to use that to continue working, you can, but you are then running the risk of missing your submission window. Okay? The Tutoring Center. The Tutoring Center is awesome. They're there all the time. This is the link. You can just click it and go there. It's free tutoring, so definitely take advantage of that if you're interested. We're going to have a course project. It is very exciting. We will go over it at a little bit later of a date, right? There's no point in talking about it now on the first day. And this is how your grade is going to be broken down this quarter. So your homework is 20% of your grade. We're going to have 4 exams. They are each 12%. The project is 12%, and the course final is 20%. And this is our grading scale. It has all of the rounding already built into it. So there's no need to worry about anything like that. This is how your percentage will convert to a letter grade. This is just a little bit of a paragraph that says, hey, what we're really interested in this quarter is your work, right? Your answers are not interesting at all. What's interesting is your work, how you get to the answers. Because if your work is right, well, then your answers are sort of right for free. But we'll talk more about this as the quarter goes on. This is the university policy for grading in the 2021 winter quarter. All this stuff in italics right here. Please read that. I'm not going to read it to you, but it's important, so please give that a read. The makeup policy. So, exams cannot be taken late, really ever, but especially for any reason short of an emergency, right? And then there's a hilarious little joke right there. If you have an emergency, let me know as soon as the emergency has concluded. Okay, hey, I was experiencing extreme food poisoning and I have been vomiting for 3 days and I just stopped long enough to send you an email, right? First of all, food poisoning doesn't last that long, go to the hospital. But second of all, thank you, right? You let me know right as soon as you could so we can try to figure out what to do. If you're going to miss an exam for a legitimate conflict that prevents you from taking it, you need to let me know before the exam. Because once the exam has been graded and I, passed back, there are no more exams for any reason whatsoever. Okay, Math 107. This is the paragraph of sadness and despair right here. Okay. This says in very formal language, please, 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 Math 107, do not use unapproved resources on exams. Okay. Stuff you are allowed to use on your exams. You can use your notes. Any notes you take, you can use. You can use Desmos. You can use the course textbook. You can use any handout I give you, and you can use all of the course lecture videos. All of that is free for all use on an exam. Anything else is not. Okay, so you cannot Google something. You cannot look something up online during an exam. You cannot consult other people for help on an exam. And I realize that in the exam, that might be something that's very tempting, right? The internet is there at your fingertips. Don't use it. please, please, please don't use it. I hate this part of my job. I hate having to effectively always be on the lookout for academic dishonesty. I will do this. I will do this to keep things fair for all of you, because you are all under the impression you are being evaluated and graded fairly and based on the same set of rules. And I'm under that impression too. So I will do this, not because I enjoy it. In fact, I hate it the most out of everything I do, but because it needs to be done. Okay, so if I have any reason whatsoever to suspect that an exam seems a little strange, I will send you an email and I will say, hello, you, we need to have a talk about your exam. So we will. We will have a Zoom meeting about your exam. And when we're done, one of these two things will have happened. And the first is the happy thing, right? The first is, yay, you understand everything you did and everything's totally fine. Congratulations. The second is the sort of unfathomable fountain of sadness, in which something went wrong because you used a resource that was unapproved. When number two happens, I have to report it to the university. And at that point, the university gets involved and it gets extraordinarily serious. Things like expulsion happen on number two. Please don't do that. Please, I'm literally begging you, please don't do this. It is so much better in every conceivable way for you to leave a test question blank than it is for you to use something you should not to try to answer it. Okay? So please, please, please don't put any of us in this position. I am really, really hoping you don't. Okay, we can let that go. If you have any kind of an accommodation through the DAC, you just need to let them know, and then they will let me know, and I will be happy to offer that to you. This is all the stuff we're going to do. Why talk about it now? We'll talk about it when we get there. And then this is our schedule. So this is all of the days of the quarter, right? All of the Fridays are sort of bleeped out here with that little dash mark. But otherwise, this is the particular section in the book and the lecture that you will be getting on every single day we meet in the quarter. All of our exams are listed here as well. We're always going to have a study day before an exam, so you get a little bit of time to review. And that's everything we're going to do. So your course project, which again we'll talk about a little bit more in the future, is going to be due right here. But again, it's way in the future, so we won't worry about it so much. And I believe that pretty much wraps up all of the intro with the syllabus. Now, definitely give the syllabus a read, right? There's a lot of stuff in there. I was kind of going quick and skipping around, but that's going to be our course. If you have not yet bought the book, buy the book. Oh my gosh, get the book immediately. Buy it from the bookstore, buy it from somebody who already took 107. You know, however you're going to buy it, but you absolutely have to have the book to, you know, not only do the homework, but to be able to read along in the sections that we're covering. So definitely do that. I think that's everything I was going to say. And if not, you know, I'll, post another video and we can talk about it then. But otherwise, hello and welcome, and I will see all of you next time.